If you want to experience a truly beautiful Italian city that is not as overcrowded as Rome or Milan, then Palermo is the right choice for you, as in this video you will see the 10 best places you have to visit in the capital city of Sicily. Welcome to Unexplored, the channel where I show you lesser known places in Eastern Europe and throughout the world. So, without further ado, here are the 10 best places you have to visit in Palermo. Starting off is the Cathedral of Palermo. This is the largest cathedral of the city and a perfect example of the tumultuous past of Palermo and Sicily, as the cathedral was built over the site where once stood the Byzantine basilica, which was then transformed by the Arabs into a mosque, and then by the Normans in 1185 into the Catholic cathedral you can see nowadays, while the current neoclassic exterior was added to the cathedral in 1801. To visit the cathedral is free of charge, but depending on what you want to see, as there are a variety of things to see in the cathedral, like the crypts, the treasury, the rooftop and underground rooms, you have to pay different prices. If you want to see everything, then you have to pay 15 euros, but personally, I would recommend, if you don't want to see everything, to at least go up the rooftop, as the views from up there are amazing, and for the price of 5 euros it is definitely worth it. Next up is the iconic Quattro Canti, which literally means 4 corners. Located in the historic city center, this Baroque building, which was built in 1620, represents the 4 historic quarters from which Palermo emerged, which are Calza, Castellammare, Serracaldi and Alberagaria. Next up are 3 churches which lie next to each other, but I promise you that all of them are worth a visit. The first one is the San Cataldo Church, which is quite unique as it was built in the Arab Norman architectural style, which is an interesting mix between the Arab Oriental architecture and the Western European Norman style, which you can only find in Sicily. While the church is quite small in size, I do think it is worth going inside it. To visit it, you have to pay €2.50, or if you are a student like me, you only pay €1.50. The next one is the Admirals Church, or Chiesa Santa Maria dell'Ammiraglio in Italian. When entering, you will immediately notice that the church looks very unusual for a Catholic church, as the walls are full of icons and frescoes that look more typical for an Orthodox church than a Catholic one. That is because the church used to be a Byzantine Orthodox church, and today it is used as the main church by the Aberesh people, who are an ethnic group originating in modern-day Albania who fled the country in the 15th century after the Ottomans conquered their country. Back then this community was religiously mixed, as some of them were Orthodox while others Catholic. Today, however, all of the members of this ethnic group are Catholic. If you want to visit this church, you only have to pay 2 euros. Next up is my personal favorite site in Palermo, which is the Church of Santa Caterina d'Alessandria. While on the outside the church may not look so special, the interior of the church is truly amazing. It is a unique mix of Sicilian Baroque, Rococo and Renaissance architectural styles, and without exaggerating, one of the most beautiful churches I have ever seen. If you decide to visit it, the entry fee just for the chapel is 3 euros, but if you want to also see the rooftops and the monastery, then you have to pay 10 euros, which I highly recommend, as from the rooftops you have an amazing view over most of Palermo. The monastery is also worth a visit, as it was originally a female Dominican convent, and the monastery itself is older than the church. Next up is the Palazzo dei Normanii. This palace is the oldest royal residence in Europe and was initially built, as the name suggests, by the Normans. The palace was used until the 17th century by successive dynasties who ruled Palermo and Sicily, such as the Angevines, Aragonese and others, who all extended and added something to the palace. Unfortunately, filming inside the entire palace is forbidden. That is why I can only show you the exterior. If you decide to visit, the entry fee is 14 euros. Next up is the impressive Teatro Massimo. You may think that Italy's largest opera lies in Milan or perhaps Rome, but this opera right here is Italy's largest one and also the third largest in Europe after the Palais Garnier in Paris and the Vienna State Opera. Even if you're not that into operas, the visit inside it is definitely worth it, as the guided tour which you can participate in shows you not only the main stage but also a lot of other beautiful rooms. To take part in a guided tour you have to pay 12 euros, while the reduced price is 6 euros. Just a couple minutes from the opera lies the Piazza Castelnuovo, which lies in the modern part of the city and is definitely worth a visit. Next up is the Church of San Domenico, which I also recommend you visiting, as this church lies on the outskirts of the old town and most tourists miss it, which is a shame, as this Baroque church is not only beautiful but also completely free to visit. Finally, we have the No Mafia Memorial. This memorial showcases the history and the negative effects of the mafia on the locals, which most movies and series about the mafia fail to do. It is very interesting to visit, as we will definitely learn more about these infamous groups. The memorial is free to visit, but if you want to support this project, you can leave them a donation. If you enjoyed this video, then please don't forget to subscribe, like and hit the notification bell in order to not miss any of my future videos, and see you next time.